Am I the butthole for firing my stepfather? My dad owned a successful business but has passed away and I've 25M, inherited the business. The thing is my stepfather works for me. My mother had an affair and cheated on my dad with his employee aka stepdad. My stepfather has now been acting like the boss and trying to get away with things that anyone fired. He wouldn't do his work, and he either came late or didn't show up at all, and I'm tired of this crap. Every time I try to talk to him about it he always brushes me off. I'm tired of this blatant disrespect and everyone at the company is as well. Well, yesterday he tried to fire an employee of mine when he was in no position to do so. To be honest, I'm sick of him and so are the workers. So, I handed him a notice of termination personally and told him he had to go. He's mad at me and so is my mother and told me she was ashamed I was firing such a loyal employee. I almost laughed at that one. Though it actually would have saved the company losing money from firing him. Am I the butthole? Edit 1. I will update you guys, and yes, I do have recording of him in my chair acting like the boss with multiple witness employees. Original poster replies. My father said that would be unprofessional to fire someone based on personal problems. But how could you have even a crumb of trust for someone that would sleep with your wife? It's got to be an instant firing, even if the guy was doing him a favor. The father was very professional about it obviously and kept personal issues from the way he saw him as an employee. Clearly he was a fine employee who changed because he thought he should be in charge, or he'd have been fired before. He probably figured that since original poster was beneath him as a child that he could bully original poster. And therefore do whatever he likes. Yeah, that's exactly what I figured too. Hate when older people do that crap. It's one of the reasons as a truck driver I never did any training over the road with anyone, let alone older people. Quite a few of them think they don't need to learn anything else, let alone learn things from someone younger. Jesus effing Christ, I hear that. I'm the third oldest person at my job, one of them rotates through all of our stores, so everything I was shown was from someone younger than myself. Honestly, I loved it because I find it so much easier to ask someone younger for help/a question on something than an older person. I've been told so many times that I should already know what they're supposed to be teaching me and have even been called stupid for asking questions from older people, which is not the case 24/7 365, obviously laughing out loud, but I've never had someone younger than myself berate me while showing me/explaining to me what I was learning. I've been telling people to talk to me like I'm stupid for a while now when it comes to being taught things, found that if I tell them to explain it like I'm stupid I find I get more information in an easier to understand form, usually resulting in me asking fewer questions laughing out loud. I used to love training people like you at my last job. My best co-workers were almost always older than me. The ones like the stepdad in original poster though, even personal backstory aside, woof. I noticed that specific subset of older than me trainees, who weren't listening to 20-something me, had so much in common with the stereotypical younger first job folks they tend to complain about. That I don't need to ask questions ever to clarify what I'm unsure of. I'll just guess, or they tune out halfway through an explanation, figuring they already know everything. I mean, there are personal issues and then there is effing your coworkers/boss's wife. This should result in both a divorce and firing. There is nothing professional about someone who would backstab you this badly. The guy could have been the best employee in the eternity of employees. But after this loss of trust, who is to say what that person would do if it benefits them? Just out of curiosity, because I genuinely don't know, would this hold up if he challenged the termination as unlawful? I wonder if cheating on your boss's wife gets you fired in a court of law. There is no place in America where banging the boss's wife is a protected class, no. Not even Nevada. So no, there is nothing wrongful about this termination. People need to get this idea out of their heads that you can sue for anything. In employment law, almost anything the boss does to you is legal. There is practically an infinite universe of ways your boss can be awful to you and suffer absolutely no repercussions for it. If it's America, in most states, it would be legal, since the only things that are protected are things like race, gender, etc. My husband's old boss hired his ex-wife's husband, who she cheated on him with. He'd always say I couldn't thank him enough. My ex thought it would funny to show off her new boyfriend. I said thanks for taking over the payments, shook his hand, and went back to playing pool. Laughing my butt off. Keeping your work and personal lives separate is always good practice, even when the people in those lives overlap. I'm friends with my boss outside of work, and we game together. I'm currently pissed at him for something that happened outside of work, but I'm not going to bring that anger into the workplace and make it an unproductive environment for my coworkers or our end users. What happened? Nah, it's a clear ESH situation. He made an assumption. I got more pissy than I should have. I'll get over it eventually. Your father was a bigger man than I am. Your father is a far better man than your stepfather deserved. If he's not doing his job, then he loses his job. That's the rule for pretty much everyone. He thought he could steamroll over you and act like the boss because he's married to your mother, but he was very, very wrong. So he knew but did nothing? Original poster replies. He said he didn't have to do anything because my stepfather saved him from staying married to a witch, in his words. Because my stepfather saved him from staying married to a witch, in his words. What? He could have nutted up and divorced her himself. Your dad was an oddly passive fellow. If he divorced her before the cheating, he may have had to give up 50% of the business to her. That may have been a factor. Indeed. Specifically if this happened prior to many states starting the no-fault divorce BS. How is no-fault divorce BS? It's incredibly toxic to force people to stay married if they don't love each other. A no-fault divorce means that even if one spouse beat and cheated on the other spouse has no legal higher ground when dividing assets, or debts for that matter, or when determining alimony due to it. A no-fault divorce is fine when it's simply irreconcilable differences. I had to quit my job due to both prior to the divorce. It caused some serious issues that took years to overcome, and during that time I was unable to work. I got zero alimony because it's a no-fault state. No fault just means you can get a divorce without proving the other person did something wrong. Before it came along, the only way to divorce was to accuse the other person of mistreating you, no matter if it was true or not. What you describe sounds more like you were either divorcing without a lawyer, you had a bad lawyer, or a crap judge. Not every state allows for fault divorces, but no fault doesn't have anything to do with how assets are divided after the divorce. Alimony is a bitch. If it's her fault, she doesn't get that money. Depends on the state. I read that as he got her to show her true colors, ending the marriage. Your dad is bad. But I have no idea why people upvoted this comment. It would not be in any way unprofessional to fire an employee for sleeping with your wife, or the wife of any other employee at the company. I think I have to call shenanigans on this whole story because I just can't wrap my head around anyone actually being as naive as your father and not firing the guy who slept with his wife. In case I'm wrong, and this story actually is true, then you are of course not the butthole, as this guy was due to be fired a long time ago. I have no idea why people upvoted this comment. Perhaps I'm just too optimistic, but maybe it's because original poster provided an answer to the question? I don't get down voting original poster for answering what's asked. Now I'm dying to know what all those removed comments say. When you get a removed chain that long, you know things got saucy. Wow, your father was an epitome of taking the higher road. Kudos. Maybe you are not aware of this, but by firing your stepfather for his unprofessional behavior, you most likely earned respect and leadership XP of your other employees. You showed that no matter how close to you they are, that crap won't fly. And you are now building a healthy foundation to keep going in your father's steps. Thus far it seems you are doing great. Not the butthole. And, with all due respect, don't listen to your mom. Her normal meter is totally broken. The anger I personally feel reading this is immense. I unfortunately have a less than stellar stepdad myself. And as someone who feels your pain, I am so proud you fired this ridiculous individual. Just because someone is family, which I use super loosely, doesn't mean you keep them around. My mom used to always defend her husband also, until I threatened my mom that she wouldn't see her potential grandkids because I refused to have them interacting with a man who thinks it 1953. You're not the butthole, don't rehire this fool. Original poster replies. I never will rehire him. He can get himself a new job. Please don't give him a good reference. You seem like your bio dad's kid, too nice for your own good. It's best to just give the basic information. When he started, when he left, and his job title. Nothing more. Many companies have this policy these days as it avoids the potential for expensive legal problems. And that he is not eligible for rehire at your business. Exactly. Legally, anything else can get you in trouble. Doesn't mean you can't have a pleasant conversation with the person calling and comment that it's a shame the caller hit every single red light on their way into work that morning. At my first job, we had a lady be such an F-up. When someone called for a reference, the owner of the restaurant said he was asked about start/end date and if they would be eligible for rehire. He replied with, "She worked here from this date to that date, I have to go now." He's very good at sleeping with his boss's wife. He tried to sleep his way up in the company. It would take completely self-unaware person to even ask for one. He was trying to take his father's place on all fronts, for F's sake. All personal issues aside, he was fired for being utterly unprofessional. At the very least, I hope he wouldn't have nerve to ask. With my HR hat on, please make sure you have fully documented this incident, with witness statements and video if you have it, along with any other workplace problems he caused. People like him love suing for wrongful termination because they just cannot comprehend what horrible crap weasels they are and how much they deserve their comeuppance. Best to be prepared. Collecting witness testimony from co-workers for the HR file stating that the stepfather was overstepping his boundaries would be good. Like my ex who tried to fight for unemployment, I attended the hearing with him, where I found out that he was absolutely fired for being a bad employee who called his boss a butthole, not the first documented incident, and was fired for insubordination. He did not get unemployment. He did get a divorce. Not the butthole. He tried to take advantage of you, and get a free ride. He committed blatant insubordination, and keeping him on would have hurt workplace morale. You warned him, he didn't listen, and now he has to deal with the consequences of his actions. Yep. He was trying to take advantage of original poster through the fact that he bangs original poster's mom. And he's still trying it. I can't imagine a scenario where stepdad would have continued being employed after what he did. Oh. He got a free ride, all right. You bastard, take the upvote. Not the butthole. If your mom doesn't know what has been going on, then tell her. If she still sides with your stepdad, the real then she's a co-ah. Your stepdad overstepped his position. He deserved to get fired, and it sounds like it not only saved money, but improved morale. His mom effed his dad's employee, left her marriage due to this, and is now throwing a hissy fit that she won't get to reap the rewards of her pathetic acts, built on the backs of the men she personally insulted. The way I see it, she's the biggest in this story. Valid point. Yes, I am amazed it took so far to find this. She is an awful woman. Original poster would do well to put all of these people behind them. She probably also pissed she didn't get any of the company when original poster's dad died. I think instead of telling her, give her the HR write-up, days he missed her work, number of complaints from other employees, etc. While a good idea, it wouldn't change anything. She's super entitled and wouldn't give an F. She'd probably spout something about how he's her husband now, how he needs the job, and how original poster could make them homeless. Sorry if you end up homeless, Mom. Looks like you chose the wrong dick to ride. Not the butthole. He was such a loyal employee that he had an affair with his boss's wife. Stepping in for the boss, what a nice guy, aha. Took the double shift with pleasure. Not the butthole. This isn't about him hurting your dad, it's about him being a crafty employee and thinking he can get away with it because he is family. Even though it's costing you money to pay him severance, it's a good and cheaper move in the long run. Now you can hire someone who will get the job done properly, 2, will not cause problems with the other employees, which will enable them to be better workers, and 2, will cause you less drama, allowing you to focus your energy on grieving and running your business. Not the butthole. It sounds like you handled this exactly right. Not the butthole. You're the boss, he needed to respect that. He didn't, he can find himself a new job. Fake. No one who runs a successful business would honestly think that they are the butthole here. Go get your fake internet points somewhere else. Yes, this is just recycled drama from other Am I the Butthole posts. Very transparent. Not the butthole. Sounds as if it's well overdue. Keeping him would be nepotism at its worst and a disservice to your employees. Info: are you actually asking for a judgment, or just a circle jerk? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.